Batman! Dunna 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 Batman! 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 Oh, and Robin. He's here too. You could say I'm late to the party. You would not be wrong. Listen, there are a bunch of lines out there that I like. There are a bunch of things out there that I want. We've talked about this before. I have a full-time job. I have a house. I have a kid. I have a wife. I have a life. That is what it is. I only make what I make. Because of that, if I'm being responsible, $20 spent here is $20 I can't spend here. And sometimes I take risks. I see something and I think to myself, that'll be around later. There's no way it won't be around later. I'll wait. Surely I'll get it. And sometimes, as we know in toy collecting, this is a roller coaster. You cannot, no matter how much you think you cannot guess the market. Case in point, that there is Batman. That there is Superpowers Batman. That there is gray and blue Batman. That there is as classic of Batman as we can possibly get in the generation of people that this line is specifically designed to sell to. And for those people that think for even a second that the McFarlane Toys Superpowers DC line is designed for anybody but old adults looking to relive part of their childhood and collect new superpowers, you are mistaken. Not that kids can't buy them. Not that kids don't like Batman. Not that adults won't see these figures and buy Batman for their kids. But the reality of it, as deep, as far as it'll go, here's the truth. This is a line that was important when we were growing up. In fact, it is a line that was important for some of us when we were already grown up. I remember living through the end of this line and then moving into things like Kenner Batman. I remember that. That's where I was. My first Batman was the black suit Michael Keaton Batman. It wasn't this. But I did get one of these because, as I said, we were at the tail end of this line. At least people, I'm 40, that's where I was. I just kind of barely missed this, in all honesty. Now, the line comes back. A new continuation of the line. And I say to myself, that's Batman. That's as classic a Batman as there can possibly be on the shelves. There will be plenty of him. I am close to 5 Walmarts at any given time. None of them, not even one, has ever put a single one of these on the shelf. And I don't mean just Batman. This entire wave has not hit the shelf. None of it. Not one figure from this wave has hit a single shelf in the 5 Walmarts in my area. So I figured I'd go to Big Bad. Sold out. So I figured I'd go to Entertainment Earth. Sold out. I missed the boat. But I said, it's Batman. Of course it's going to sell out. But Batman and Superman and the like are always available. They always come back. They'll be reproduced at some point. I'll just buy the next print. It didn't happen. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And these two figures continued to rise in value. At Walmart, I paid around $8. Now, each one of these figures was about $25 a piece. I finally bit the bullet. I bought from Amazon, finally found sellers, and they were $25 a piece. Not what I wanted to pay, what I had to pay in all realism. Now, who knows? Next week I could get unlucky and these could hit the shelves again and I could be like, oh, come on. It happens. But this is a roller coaster. I could continue to wait and I could run into the exact same problem that I'm currently facing with Webstore. Webstore, however you want to say that name, for Masters of the Universe, Masterverse, he sold out everywhere. And I figured Masterverse, he'll have a second printing. I didn't miss out on him. I could still get Spikor. That's like wave 1. I can get the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Scareglow in the box, still working, basically mint condition new. I found people willing to sell it for like $73. Webstore is like a $200 figure right now. We don't know how the market will go with random toys one to the next. The Batmobile was in every single Walmart I came across, and the Batmobile is so abundant that it's on clearance they can't give it away. So I finally pulled the trigger. I bought Batman, I bought Robin, and I bought the Batmobile. And these, I cherry-picked this line hard. These are figures that I absolutely wanted together, and I didn't want to get them unless I got them all at the same time, and I finally did. This, for me, is a little bit of a dream figure. Kind of a mini grail, if you will. Because this really hits a sweet spot for me. Let's check them out. Here they are. Blue and gray Batman, yellow cape Robin. I wanted these like crazy, and I mean that. I was very excited to get these. I definitely wanted him. This is Tim Drake, my favorite Robin, one of my more favorite Robin outfits throughout the years, and he is a nice throwback to the original Robin that I grew up with specifically. This Batman, same concept. This is the Batman I've liked the most throughout my entire lifetime. It was definitely the Batman I grew up with, and he's the closest Batman to a very specific thing. When I grew up, one of my main introductions to Batman was staying at my grandmother's house. And down there, in the deep, deep country, her TV only got 3 channels. One of those channels was an old type of TV land, I guess is what you could call it, and it played old television. I grew up watching things like Star Trek, the original series, I Love Lucy, The Three Stooges, and the '66 Batman. Then I saw these. They're old toys. They feel like the '66 Batman, but they hit that sweet comic book spot. They're superpowers. The car is a sweet 80s looking new style variant of the Batmobile that I loved growing up. My favorite Batmobile being the '66 Batmobile. It really is. Even to this day, I don't know why, but as a car, that is my favorite Batmobile that I've ever seen in my entire life. There was something about this that felt right. This feels comic book, but it also references my love of what started me in Batman, the Adam West series. But it also references, in hindsight, very close to the kind of car that I loved, a real car-esque design with an 80s edge. There's something about this that just absolutely fits. I don't know why, but it spoke to me. This is what I wanted, and I wanted it all together. I wanted this Batman, this Robin, this car, and I wanted this Robin to have this yellow cape. Not the re-release one that I've actually been able to find at decent prices that has the black cape, yellow cape Robin. This is the Robin that I like, Tim Drake. But the yellow cape is a nice reference to the Robin I grew up with. This is the Batman I loved from the comics. But at the same time, this costume was basically the Adam West costume. This spoke to me. It was everything I wanted it to be. The cross-sell back here is, and this might be tough to see on the camera as it stands right now. Let's see if I can zoom into this a little bit here, just to kind of play with it a bit. The Invisible Jet, I don't want it. The Batmobile, we got it. Here we go. Superman, I got him. Doomsday, don't want him. That Batman, I got him, but I don't care. Green Lantern that I don't really care about getting. Flash that I don't really care about getting. The Batman Who Laughs that I don't really care about. I got that Wonder Woman, which means I don't need this Wonder Woman. I now have these two characters. I don't need Aquaman. I don't need Submariner. Sorry. Submariner. Black Manta. I'm sorry, I've been reading a lot of Fantastic Four. I don't need Aquaman, I don't need Deathstroke, and I don't need Nightwing. When I tell you I cherry-picked this line hard, I mean hard. Really, 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 really hard. These are practically open already. I don't know if the glue just went bad on them or what, but in the long run, I mean, this is how he came. But they're intact, and that's all I really cared about. I'm an opener. I was never going to save these cards in the first place. There's the Batmobile that I want. So now we've been over the cross-sell. Let's take a small look at the Batmobile here. I'm sure everybody's already seen this. I mean, like I said, they're practically giving these away on clearance now. But here we go. This old retro-style box, I really, really like this. Like, I really do. Like I said, I didn't buy this line. I didn't grow up in this line. By the time that I got into this, I got into the Kenner Batman toys. That's what it was. There was the black suit Kenner Batman toys, the ones based on Michael Keaton. Here's the bottom part right here, in case anybody needs any of that information. I've heard some people really actually like you to show this off. So let me clear the camera here. Let me show it to you. Let me get even closer. There you go. And then the back of the box right here shows us what we're getting from this retro, cool Batmobile. This is Batman's action vehicle. Of course it is. This is Batman TM's action vehicle. Can't forget that. Trademarked Batman. It's not the same as regular Batman. It's trademarked Batman. It's special. Here we have hidden rocket. This is hidden rocket boosters. That's going to come out of the back of the car. Pretty cool. This is going to have a battering ram. Pretty cool. Shoots from the front of the car. And seats 2 figures. It'll seat up to 2 action figures. Specifically the 2 that I want. Figures sold separately. Oh no. Luckily I found them. This is awesome. One thing I have to say about this line is that it really captures that classic feeling. If this is what you grew up in, if this was it, man, and of course you didn't get this Batmobile, the Batmobile that came out for the Superpower line was different. Everything being released in this Superpower line is new and moves forward. And I gotta say, I love that. They could have just put out the same stuff we already got and called it a day. They didn't. The McFarlane Toys line chose to continue the Superpower line, and I honestly praise them for it. I love it. Let's open these up. I have to see them. Okay, so like I said, you could say that I'm late to the party, and I wouldn't argue with you. But I'm still going to tell you what I think. These figures are great. They're every bit what I want them to be. They feel like old Superpowers toys. They feel like the Kenner toys that I grew up with. The old Batman, the old Robin. And I gotta give it to them. The first Superman that was released was a problem. I had a problem with it. And the Batman, for that matter, if we're going to be completely honest. In fact, just for argument's sake, let's bring the Jet over here so that we can, whoop, oh yeah, just see that? Just see how it opened? By the way, I was able to get another replacement for my Jet for $4. And because I got a replacement for the Jet, my cockpit now actually works. Isn't that something? That is something, let me tell you. Because if you remember, back in the first video, the cockpit broke the first time I used it. This cape was rough. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. It's not what I wanted it to be. Put that Batman back in there because that's where he goes. Because that's the whole point of this, is I bought a Batwing specifically for display. It's going up to the top shelf here soon, especially once this is finished. This goes up to the top shelf with it. But look, this cape, so much better. That is way better. Not to mention Robin's cape, which is every bit the same. These feel nice. They are a huge, huge improvement over the last capes, the last figures. Now, I've seen people that have done complete videos talking about the replacement of the capes. Better capes, better capes. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want a better cape. Now, I know that sounds kind of wild, because I know some people are all about like getting the best figure they can get. And I'm not about to turn you down on that one. I completely understand if that's the way you feel. You should always get the best item you can get. I don't count that out at all. But there is something about this old cape, this old design, that makes me feel the nostalgia. When I look at this, I can remember having the Batmans where I had like 6 different Batman. One cape. Because I lost all the others. Because it's just like a little boop. There it is. It's done. He's got no cape. He's just Batman without a cape. And oh no. And like it's just a little flimsy little tab thing. And you put it on him. Whoop. And there it is. And if you really want to mess with him, you pull these flap areas down like this. Pull that out. There. It does what it's supposed to do. It is what it's supposed to be. And believe it or not, I love it for that. I really do. I don't want it to be better. And maybe that's crazy. But there's something that takes me back to my childhood, remembering how toy craftsmanship really was. Without the nostalgia attached to it, toys were not crafted like this. They were not. This is modern, and it's a better sculpt than what I got when I was a kid. I can see that. I can tell you that it's painted better. I can feel that it's better than what I had when I was a kid. For all the nostalgia talk about toys were better, I disagree. The engineering for these things has far exceeded what we had when we were kids. But these do a damn good job of feeling like the original cheaper things that we had when we were kids. And I gotta say, I love them for it. That's a good Robin. It's a good face. He's serious enough, but he's still maintaining what I want him to be. That's Tim Drake. That's beautiful. The R's in the right spot. Everything about that, I love. He'll look absolutely fantastic in the Batmobile. Same with that Batman. I love it. So, moving on to the Batmobile. We have these 2 fins that we got to get in here. Was that it? No. I don't want to force and break this like the last one. There's that. There's that. I don't think I got this one in there. There. Awesome. This Batmobile is sharp. I like this right here. The wheels, I really do. It's a simple thing, but I like it. I like the color of this Batmobile. What's the bottom? Does the bottom have, yeah, you can kind of see that it's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's cheap, old looking. But this was it, man. This is what we had. I remember you would turn your Batmobile, and I remember I used to do this. I had like a plane and whatnot. I would turn it to the side and kind of have like my Batman work on it or whatever. I remember that when I was growing up. Just the way that things were a little cheaper looking, and you really did use your imagination. But this is sharp. I like this. You push that in. It has an old action feature. I can understand. I know that I've argued this many times. Action features, I like action effects over action features. But there are times when a toy like this, designed to be what this is almost needed. Just a weird little gimmicky thing. I gotta be honest, I think you would have been something missing without it. There's a set of boosters back here. How do we get the boosters to go? Do we just pull, oh, okay. So we just like, this thing lifts up, the boosters come out, and then we're driving fast. We're going with the boosters, and then the boosters go back down in, and that closes. And that also gives us, there's space back here that maybe, because this doesn't close all the way, maybe you could store some stuff back there, which would have been cool. In terms of, you know, if you'd have been playing, you know, if we were still playing toys. The inside is sharp. I mean, that's done really well, right? Look at all the controls and everything in there. That's solid. I like everything about this. Everything about this. The moment of truth. The moment of truth, man. We're going to put your bat legs like this. You sit well. Lift your arms up. Get in there, my Batman guy. Awesome. There we go. And you're Robin. Just like when I was growing up, man. Batman and Robin would hop in the Batmobile. Look at that. That's it, man. That's what I wanted. That is so simple. It's such a stupid, little, simple thing. But damn it. If that isn't everything that I wanted. I mean, I can't stress enough how I grew up in a time where this was everything. And it might not be the Batman 66 on the shelf. I know that I could do that. But it's not what I wanted, per se. See, this here was a grab-all. It really is. I can't stress it enough. When I seen this, I had a huge rush of entire childhood nostalgia. When I grew up, I watched the Batman animated series. I did. But I started with Batman 66. And the first comic books I ever read were of the hardcore 80s blue and gray Batman with the super long cape. I can remember, and I don't know what comic it was even from. My mom got me a comic, and Batman just did something. And this guy grabs a hold of Batman's cape and he's like, thank you, thank you. And Batman, I remember being like, mesmerized by how much of a prick he was being, but also kind of taken by it when he kind of pushes this guy off and he's like, don't thank me. And like, it was just wild. And I don't know why that one panel like sits in my mind and has never went away. There's a lot of other things I remember, but I remember that and I don't know why. And I remember Batman in the super long cape, and the blue, and the gray, and Robin, and Tim Drake was easily my favorite Robin. And I remember the yellow cape on Burt Ward Batman. Robin, not Batman, you get the idea. And for some reason I loved that. And like, just over and over and over and over and over again. These things that flash in my mind from the 66 Batmobile, but also the 80s Batmobile that existed in the comics at the time. And somehow, I don't even know if this was on purpose. It almost seems like it was. I wish I had the ability to ask the guy that designed it, or the team, what was the inspiration? What were you going for here with the Batmobile? Because to me, the Batmobile seems like a very interesting blend of the 80s Batmobile of the era and the 66 Batmobile of the television series, pushed into like this amalgamation with hints of the Batmobile from the original Superpowers line, all wrapped into one solid package. The Yellow Cape Robin is, one, Tim Drake, favorite Robin, and two, Burt Ward, the Batman 66 show. They both jump into the Batmobile. It's open in the middle, so they fly and the capes kind of blow in the wind and everything. It's a serious Batman, but it's the gray and blue. He's small because of the figure's stature, which makes me feel like Adam West, while at the same time hitting that comic book edge that I knew I wanted. This, and I don't know why, this hit every single mark for me. It was the absolute thing I wanted. I don't know why, but it just clicked every single switch. It was like an instant toy grail. I can't explain it any more than I already have. I can't explain it. It just hit all the right buttons. And I have it now. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I don't know what else to tell you. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.